Welcome back, boys, to the Lonely Road. We're here to join you on your journey to heal and become a better human. And this one's kind of more like living life the right way. And we started even having a conversation off camera, and KJ started tearing up. And I'm like, guys, we need to have the conversation on camera. This isn't an off camera one. This is impactful, and it's really funny because it was literally so directly related to the exact conversation that I said we should have as our second topic, which is creating a legacy, building an obituary, building a life that's worth living. And we are sitting here having a conversation about like things that we wanted to do, and the impact Charlie had, and like all of these things that so many people don't want to look at directly or see the impact that it actually has. But why don't you start off the conversation again where you started, not where we left off, because I think it matters.
I really feel this whole Charlie thing has hit me in a way that don't expect public deaths to hit me. And I think
Yeah,
it's for obviously a bigger reason than the man.
it hit me too. And I said that in our text. I was like, fuck you. You've totally made a celebrity death actually impact me. And I will say that as jovially as I look right now. But I bawled my eyes out and had panic attacks for a couple days because it's just like it's so much.
It's
When
deep.
you see something good like be so affected and everything else, that it just kind of changes the way you look at things.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to take a deep breath and just realize that free speech was just shot in the neck and didn't survive.
But you were saying this. You were saying, "Oh my god, like when I was a teenager, the main thing I wanted to do is become a radio DJ."
Yeah, I did have that. And I didn't see the lucrativeness in it. I wanted to, I loved music. I knew that I wasn't talented in music, but I had an ear. And so I wanted to become a radio DJ. I wanted to be on the air. And it was, obviously happened before Charlie, but I've been doing a lot of, self reflection. Obviously this podcast being the start of a big self reflection in my life, but um, just realizing that the things that I did in my life, I did for reasons other than passion. I went to college for something that would potentially get me more money, get me, rather than going for communications and doing something on air. And I didn't realize I could actually do something like that back when I was getting ready to go to college back in 92, 93. And it, I didn't know the routes that could be taken with something like that. And either way, I chose something different. And now when I'm doing the work that I never knew about or how to do. I always heard about the work, the internal work, the work of your soul, becoming realizing who you actually are and what you actually crave to do. Um, and one of the things was, I want to help people. I want to help people, and I want to tell the truth in life. And those two things, I'm 50 years old, and now I'm in a good career. My degree helped me to get where I am in that career, and I'm very thankful for it. But here I am at 50 years old behind a microphone of a small podcast that's getting views. But that's not the point. The point is to impact someone, to tell my story, to show that grief is normal, and okay, and how to navigate that. But it's helping people. It may not be in the form that I initially wanted it to be in, but here we are, Zach. And through that conversation, having off camera with my godson, I found out that he, as well in high school, wanted to follow that path as well. And here we are together. on our show.
Yeah, it was weird. I remember taking this test in ninth grade English. My ninth grade English teacher was like, "Hey, everybody's got to take this test, and it literally means nothing, but we want you guys to be able to see that there are more choices in the world other than being an architect and being a garbage man and working at Walmart and McDonald's. Maybe you'll find something that matters." And I thought the same thing. Oh, I love music. Maybe music will do something. Maybe I'll help somebody. Maybe I'll be able to put a voice behind some of the stories that I have. Maybe, just maybe. And that test came back as an audio engineer or a radio DJ. And now the only jobs that I physically can do legitimately is very few and far between. But surprisingly, one of them was to have a microphone in front of my face and live this crazy fucking life that seems almost some days fucking surreal. But the other thing is I never expected this show to hit 5,000. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So like as I was saying, I never expected 5,000 viewer base. I never expected anything. I thought of it like if I could help myself, if I could help KJ, if I could help my fiance Bree, I could help my kids, I could give somebody the blueprint of how to do something or how to fix something or how to feel okay even when life is chaos. I felt like, oh God, dude, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I looked at the numbers the other day, and YouTube just added this statistic, and I thought it was mind blowing. We're reaching 15,000 fucking people on average as a listener base every single month.
It
That
blows my
is
mind.
fucking crazy.
It blows my mind. And, you have your people that like to comment because they like to be assholes and they like to say, oh, your views aren't that big. Well, you're not looking at all you're not looking at all the stats. So, at the same time, our full podcasts only get, 24 or whatever views. Sometimes it's okay, because we have, we reach more people in the shorter clips. And that's the point of it all, is to put a seed in somebody about, something that could help them. We're here, we both love music, we both love, being on the air. But I wish that copyright would be what it wouldn't be so strict, so that we could have music streaming in the background, because we love it. We'd love to play songs that help us through hard times and things like that. But it in this day and age, that's not something that's able to be on, and we'd love to be able to do that. I'd love to have a different tab in the background and be able to just listen to music that we love. Right now, that's not where the universe has pointed us, though. We've individually dealt with so much loss and had to rebuild, because of that we realize that that's not a soft skill, that's not a skill that's taught to people. And we didn't see that being filled in many places at all. So we wanted to fill that at some level.
Yeah, I see life in a really, really weird light. And I don't know how many people really see it that way. But when you play a baseball game or a football game, you'll play the franchise mode and you're like, oh, I have this entire team and I can kind of shift the players or trade players or pay big contracts and see exactly what I can do to build this into being the next Yankees, the next Steelers, whatever your team aficionado is. But that's almost how I see life. It's like, what do you want on your fucking resume? What do you want on your fucking obituary? What do you want on these next stages of your life? Because that's how you should live life. It's not only just, going in, day out. You wanna know what I don't want on my fucking tombstone? What I don't want on my obituary? Oh, he made it to work every single day and, he was the most dependable person because he just hit the fucking hourly clock every single time he needed to. And then he came home, he drank a beer on the fucking porch, and then nobody asked any questions, nobody cared, nobody. That sounds like the worst fucking life possible. And for some people, that is a life that everybody strives for. But that to me is not my fucking end goal. That's not what I want. That's not what I aim for. I
For
want
me, for me, family is the most important. That's who's going to be with you in your dying hour. Um, if you don't cultivate your family, what are you what are you giving the world?
yeah.
If you have written on your tombstone, always late for dinner, or didn't tuck my kids in, or didn't have time to read them a bedtime story, or never took them to the monster truck rally, well, what legacy does that leave you?
Yeah. I, I I didn't say this yesterday when I was with Bree and Ava, but I think Bree totally understood it. Is it doesn't matter if I have an hour, I have every single day of the year, or somewhere in between. These three kids, whenever our kids happen, like whatever, they're gonna get 180 fucking percent of whatever the fuck I have. My mom, Bree, like you, like all of the people around me are gonna get every single fucking ounce of energy I have because that's all you got. You can add more people to that roster.
Sure.
But like if you're not giving anybody the energy and effort around you, then guess what? They're probably gonna disappear at some point because it's just it is what it is. And like I remember sitting at that wedding last weekend and both of my brothers independently coming over and sitting right next to me, wrapping their arm around my neck and just having a smile because they wanted to be like they just wanted to hang out. They just wanted to be and it's just like, dude, it never goes away.
No.
If you sit there and you shut it out, you're entirely doing that by yourself. You're making those choices to not give people energy and attention because you don't want to, because you're butthurt, because you don't want to give to other people. Dude, people that you give energy to should be the people that give you energy as well. Your battery should be charged when you're around the people that you fucking love. And if it's not fucking charged when you're around the people that you love, guess what? You're giving your energy to the wrong people.
Yeah, figure out how to charge your batteries so that you can, you gotta regulate yourself before you can even try to, be a regulatory agent for your family. It's important to stay rooted, and knowing that, we here in life are, when we're young, we don't really think about it this way, but our days are numbered, and we only have so much time for things. So my advice is to start early and find what you believe in and stand 10 toes down on it, you know, and learn how to be, a good force in the world, and learn what you do best, or what your passion is, and find ways in the
And
world
try fucking everything.
to make them happen.
It doesn't matter. Like, if you're like, oh, dude, I might like playing guitar, try it. That $400 or $500 to try something in the end doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't. But guess what? If you fucking enjoy it and it becomes something, and that's why I was like, KJ, we need to have this conversation. She started saying, "Oh my god, like Zach, I'm so happy you found this before I did, obviously, but like at least we both did, and we were able to explore and do the things and maybe help somebody." Because guess what? Regardless of who you are, I don't give a fuck if you tell me that my podcast is useless. Why don't we charge more for podcasting equipment? My voice carries more weight than yours has in your entire life combined. I've helped more people. I've done
Well,
more things.
if those people are standing behind a no profile picture, and no content when they I mean, what are they doing, except for being a negative force in this life? And I don't have time for those kind of NPCs anymore. I'm here to surround myself with people who are here to be and do good. I don't want evil near me, and that's what it's boiled down to for me, recently, specifically. And it's really, really important, to build myself from now forward, and stand on that which I believe, and not be scared, because if you want to build something, um, you have to start at a foundation and continue from there. And even if even if you fucked up your life and you're trying to unfuck your life, you can still build that foundation and build from there. I'm 50 years old, just getting behind a microphone to do what I have been in passion to do, which is help somebody, anybody. And
Exactly. Like at some point, I've become the voice of the voiceless. I don't understand why that title became mine, but for some reason, it's part of the story now. It's part of the reason why I'm here. And that's the craziest thing. You know, for and I've had this thought for a long time. I don't understand why people build the obituary the way that they build it. I don't understand why they build a funeral the way they build it, where it's like, oh, he was a son first. He was a brother, and he was a best friend, and then he was a husband, and then he was a father. I'm going to tell you right now, and whether or not the dipshit upstairs understands or not, Brie, I love you, baby. But for damn sure, if dad isn't the first thing that's on that list, you did it wrong. You didn't do it the way I wanted it. Because they're the only fucking reason I'm here. And it's not just my kids, it's every single person that's ever called me dad ever. There are sometimes my mom looks at me like a dad because everybody has a fucked up family and they don't actually have the guidance that they needed. Because there's a level of respect that goes into that title that isn't just I came from you, it's that you put more into my life than I realized you were going to.
mhm. Yep. And if you surround yourself with those people, you're able to then move in a way that feels good, and is good. It's not just important to feel good about what is going on. It's also important to be able to do good with that. There's complete difference in my mind, which is a
And
completely
it's
different podcast.
it's such a surreal feeling knowing you're doing the right thing. And it's not just like I'm doing the right thing. There's a moral pressure in life that you know what the fuck you're supposed to do. Not just like, oh, I'm supposed to take out the garbage on Mondays, but there's a life pressure in life that I don't know if this is for everybody or it's just some people, but there is an end goal that your soul tells you have to do. And to me, that fucking dad title was number one. For some reason, life being the voice of the voiceless was number two. I've already checked off both of those boxes, and I know that that is exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to help you guys through every single thing I possibly can. And when that job is done, I will probably be gone. And I know that because that's not a, oh, I have this job for 3 days kind of thing. That is a life goal. And that life goal doesn't end until somebody shuts it up. And it's weird. It's weird to look at it that way, but in the grand scheme of things, that's exactly what it is. My beautiful fiance sits here and tells me all the time, "Oh, you're a savant at this, you're a savant at that." No, I'm fucking not. For some reason, because I have ADHD, I pick up everything and I've touched absolutely every single fucking hobby I possibly could. And you know what? There are some that I'm really good at, and there are some that I am fucking horrible at. But guess what? I do everything I possibly can and I give it every single thing I can because if I don't, I'm wasting my time, I'm wasting your time, and I'm fucking failing everybody around me. And guess what? I don't do failure.
Yeah. It's never too early to start building that foundation, building your legacy, building that obituary. It seems dark, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's what you have. And it's never too late, but it's never too early either. You can, look at Charlie. He started Turning Point USA at 18 years old, because he wanted to get young people involved in politics. He knew there was a new generation that uh, needed a voice, and he was that voice for them. A lot of youth looked towards Charlie, and his videos gave them insight on how to move forward in their lives. Um, I just hope that he knew how many people he touched and was able to was able to help. And it's okay in my life if I'm obviously not going to be a Charlie Kirk, but I was able to help my godson at a few points in his life. I helped his mother. I was able to help my wife. I was able to help my grandchildren and my nieces, and I was able to touch people um, that I loved and love completely, but that I know will give back to me. And it's important to surround yourself, and not, you know, uh, not spin your wheels with people that won't return or respond with love and kind.
And just being love and kind doesn't mean that you're enabling somebody. Love and kind doesn't mean that you're telling somebody they're always right or infallible. That's what it should be. You should be allowed to call out the bullshit and say, hey, regardless of if you like that I'm saying this or not, guess what? It's okay. I would rather the people that matter to me most be my biggest critic than people that just sit there and blow smoke up my ass and make me into this fucking puff chest egotistical douchebag. Guess what? I still am that egotistical douchebag. I do that all by myself. It's okay. But like as a whole, that's why I like having everybody have dissenting opinions and disagree with me. Go ahead, let's have the conversation. It's okay. But that's why life is meant to be lived. It's a book where you know what the answer is. Everybody dies, but you don't know how, you don't know when, or how you're fucking gonna get there. I could get in a car accident 20 minutes after this podcast, 20 miles down the road from my house, going to deliver something, or I could absolutely get shot a week from today. Or I could live until I'm fucking 85 and be so sad with life because I lived that long and I'm all decrepit and can't use any of my body. But guess what? It's all the same. How many fucking pages have I filled? It's not fucking filled yet. Let's keep going. And I posted this today because once I saw this topic idea on the list, and I have no idea even which one of us wrote this topic, but I felt like it was a good topic for today. I said, you know what? I didn't even say this to anybody, and we're going into October now, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna post the entire year, and I just posted highlights on Facebook. It's still uploading because for some reason, even with absolutely fuck all, I've accomplished and we've accomplished and done so much this year that I don't believe it. Like so many memories, so many things that just feel fantastic, and it's just like that's the shit that's going to impact them going into adulthood. That's the shit that they're going to see like, hey, it's okay. They're going to see how to do it. They're going to see like even when shit sucks, hey, do this and this and it'll be okay. You can help yourself feel okay. So I posted, yeah, even a year after all of this shit, even a year after everything, we're still here. And guess what? Honestly, I did everything I could to make this year as impactful and as enjoyable as I could for all four of them. I don't know how I did, but I don't think they'll forget it. I don't think I'll forget it. I don't think I'm done yet because I'm not.
Right.
My job's never done. Some people see that as a curse, but me, it is what drives me every single day through all of this chaos that everybody says is non believable. Hell, there are days where I live it and I can't believe it.
Yeah, like I mean, if you start early, and you do, you figure out what you stand for. You figure out the things, everybody has to figure out life, and it's okay to change your mind. It's okay. But you can reverse engineer your life. You can, figure out who you want to stand for, who you want to be, and you can build your life to do those things, to be that person. But we don't get presented. it like that. We absolutely, I believe, get presented things backwards. I believe that we should focus more on character traits and relationships and the meaningful impact that we want to be remembered for. And in those times and those with doing those things, we'll be building the obituary that we want to have, that we want to be remembered for. Because if you treat life like it's you can, I mean, obviously free will, free agency, you can do whatever you want, but there are repercussions and there's accountability that you have to, be ready for. You have to be ready for the repercussions of the things that you do. But if we were taught earlier to focus on the quality of things, rather than uh, rather than in my mind, the more frivolous parts of life. Like of course, everybody wants a good job in order to be able to, you know, be the person or be the provider that they want to be, or whatever the case may be in their life, and that's all fine and good. But the work life balance is very and very important, because who you are to the people around you is the most important, because that's who you're going to be leaving your legacy with.
Yeah, like in school, they teach you how to be a fucking time card. That's all you're taught.
Hmm.
I don't think that, teaching people relationships and everything else can be done by a teacher, because everything is different depending on who you are. And honestly, I think if we taught psychology as something that, every high schooler has to take, or this or that, like you're making the bad actors better actors. So like I would rather it not be done anyway. Like for so long I was like, we need taxes taught to high schoolers. We need, this taught to high schoolers. We need mental health taught to high schoolers. How to shoot a gun, probably. When all of that is said and done, I think we're in the same exact place, and it might be even harder to figure out exactly like the people that you have to get rid of, people that you have to move away from or walk away from, because guess what? Now they know all of those psychological terms that is going to send you into shock because somebody close to you say them, or whatever. It makes it hard. It makes it hard because like there are people that genuinely aren't in it for you, and when you learn that, it's weird because elementary school, everybody's in it for you. Everybody is. Everybody wants to see you succeed. But when you start a business, when you start a small business here or there, there's going to be people that openly support you and want to be a part of something, but they don't want you to grow bigger than them. They don't want your voice to carry more than theirs. Meanwhile, they're still in the planning stage, in the thought process stage of like, oh my God, I could play video games for a living. Oh, dude, we have to make podcasting equipment more expensive.
That's
Me-
that's
Meanwhile, I'm talking to 2 million people in a year. What the fuck is your point?
Yeah, I always find it funny that me 10, even 10 years ago, would have reacted much differently to those type of people, and in the comment section. But you'll see me go in the comment section and maybe say, "Yet here we are, commenting on something you don't like. Thanks for helping the algorithm," or something like that, because they don't understand what they're really doing. You can tell me in your comment, podcast equipment could be more expensive, but here you are listening to our podcast. I don't pay much attention to that noise anymore, because I really have reflected on my deepest values, and it's not nonsense like that. That's garbage. If you want to be a garbage human, you're more than welcome to be a garbage human, but be that garbage human over there, because I don't want garbage in my vicinity. I'm cleaning up the garbage in my life, and that's what matters to me.
Exactly. And that's exactly what the legacy is.
Yeah.
And that's what the point is like you can sit here and say you're going to start something. You can sit here and say you're going to be a part of something. You're going to do something. And if you're just shit posting online, dude, you're not doing something.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I
all my life.
want you to Build the fucking fan base. Go do it. I want you to. I will help you. You're saying podcasting equipment's too expensive. You're helping me build. You're not realizing what you're doing. I don't think a lot of people do. When all is said and done, guess what? My kids have a legacy of somebody who is very, very outspoken against the evil that is in the world.
But in reality, I think those comments, a lot of those comments are rooted in a lot of inquisitive nature. I mean, I think people, they wouldn't be commenting if it didn't hit them in some way.
Yeah.
You know, if they really thought we were horrible, why aren't they just scrolling? Right.
You're
So
giving me your energy.
yeah,
That's what you're
exactly.
doing.
Exactly. You're giving your energy. So why are you giving your energy? Let's lean to that. Let's maybe ask the questions. How come you're here giving this energy? And that's what I'm going to do from now on, because that's what I feel like, the Socratic method. It just asks questions and find out why, what got you to that area. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be hateful in asking those questions. I'm going to use those values that I've built from that rock bottom that I once hit. And I've built quite a foundation since then. And I'm going to use them to ask those questions. And I'm going to use my humanity. And I'm going to use, my empathy. But I'm not going to let my empathy overrule my logic in a conversation. And I'm also going to know when to not have a conversation, because there's some of those people you just cannot have a conversation with. And I've learned a lot to walk away from those types of conversations. But, at the end of the day, for me, obviously for you, it's not about the job title. It's not about how much money we make at the end of the day. It's not about the tangibles. It's about the intangible things, the things that define that life well lived. And I learned it a lot later than you, but here we are walking the path together.
Exactly. And that's the end story that I think everybody needs to realize. Is in the end, life is a video game. It's the video game of life. It's the same exact board game we played as kids. But guess what? In this game, you have control over every single stat point you have at the end. Could you have started weighing 200 pounds and struggling because you're 5'2" and you don't want to do anything other than eat McDonald's and drink Big Macs? Absolutely. But guess what? You can reorganize those fucking skill points at any point in time in your life that you want to. You could leave that life being a Greek god and being chiseled and doing every single fucking thing that your life told you you couldn't do at 20, 25, and 30 by 40 years old. It's just energy and effort and making your life into a life that's worth living for you. Every single skill point that you have, you round that off. You put that there. Guess what? I sat here and I developed my speaking skills by watching wrestling, by watching other people talk, having conversations, even people like Charlie Kirk. That is where the voice of the voiceless comes from. It comes from wrestling. It comes from people who speak for every other person that's normal, just like they are. Because at some point, you're not going to have a voice to talk because nobody's behind you. And no matter how loud you're talking, it's very hard for your voice to get heard. So having somebody lead and having somebody walk with makes that voice get escalated and pushed farther and farther as it goes. Doing
You know,
everything I can is my job.
yeah. I mean, if you don't know what it is that you can build on, what you want, like for me, for a long time, I didn't really realize what it was that I was even here for. It was something that I struggled greatly with. Like, what's the point? What's the main point here? And honestly, it's ask yourself if you don't know. Like I'm here to love. I'm a huge heart. I'm here to love, and I'm here for truth. When I'm presented with bullshit, I go off the chain. That's when my anxiety disorder used to get out of control. I don't have much anxiety anymore, because I'm not worried about the future or the past. I'm more in on the present time. But if you don't know, what you're here for, sometimes it's just as easy as to love. Sometimes it's just as simple as to love and to tell the truth. Sometimes that's it, you know? So what things, if you don't know where where you lie, the simple things that you can do, you can ask yourself a couple questions. You can ask yourself what frustrates you the most about the world, and if you had the resources, what would you fix? And then try to start to fix it at your level with yourself, within yourself first, because you can't do anything until you're grounded, and then start to go outwards at the level you can.
Exactly. So
Doesn't have to be huge.
live your life the way that you would want your kids to live. Be happy, be healthy, try and do everything you can to make yourself the best version of you, because the best version of you changes every single day. That percentage changes. If you do the work,
Hmm.
that better version of you is not unreachable, but it gets farther because the better version of you is even better than what was possible yesterday. It is ever growing. Yeah, you might not be able to be like the most perfect, well rounded, perfect in every attribute kind of person. But guess what? Every single day I speak, you get better. Every single day I take care of my mental health or take care of my kids or become a dad, I'm better at those things than I was yesterday. And guess what? That's what growth is. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort, but every single day it's growth filled. It's okay.
Absolutely.
It just takes
Absolutely.
time.
Yeah, don't allow yourself to be drowned out by, the mainstream in the world. Like, if you do things a little different, beat to your drum. Good is still good, north is still north, and don't let people push you off your path. Don't let people put magnets near your compass. Know your goal, know who you want to be remembered as, and live your life accordingly. That's how I've come to realize that you really have to live your life. And I wish that from generation to generation somehow that was passed to people earlier. Because learning it at 50 years old is kind of heartbreaking, because a lot of people remember me from being the old me. And that's heartbreaking because I'm not that person anymore.
And that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is that first meeting or that first time that you have a problem. That might be the last time you speak to anybody.
Yeah. Yep. It's
That's why I
happened.
will continually say it. And I say it to my kids all day, every day. Never leave a situation unless you're okay leaving it. It doesn't matter what somebody makes you feel, what something happens. You don't want to regret what you said yesterday because of feelings that you have yesterday. It's okay. Figure it out, put it together, and build your character. We'll see you next.
It's so important. It's so important to focus on relationships. It's so important to listen to criticism of those who love you, those who want to see you on the right path. It's important. It's important to be rooted enough to be able to listen to people, because criticism isn't always bad. Criticism can be very, very, very good, um, and it's a form of love. And I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that uh, when I was younger, and I think that although delivery could be different, I think realizing that some people show love through criticism is extremely important. Um, this week's been tough for me. I think the biggest thing that I would say in my closing, Zach's not coming back, but the biggest thing in my closing, I think I would say, is figure out, the contribution, big or small, that you can or want to give into life, and give it. Um, you know, and follow that path, close that gap, compare the ideal vision that you want everyone to have of you, and actually walk that path. Don't fall to the corruption of the world. Don't fall to the evil of the world. Um, Whatever you believe in, keep the moral compass. North is still north. And I believe that, you don't need to do big, big, big things in order to make deep, deep impacts. And with that,